Hello and welcome to the GamePad Report for the month of June. We are almost halfway through this year and we are giving you the latest updates for GamePad and the mayamada universe. I am the mayamada co-founder Nigel.
I am Tazziii, content creator and GamePad host.
And GamePad is our community gaming event that we do to promote inclusion and diversity in the video games industry. So we run online and now I can say real in-person live events because we've done them, and I'm going to flash up some photos right now so you can see the evidence. So we also host regular discussions with video game professionals and give young people an opportunity to gain valuable work experience. So we were just talking a lot about Gotham Nights and all different aspects of the game, where it's been released, where it's not being released, the evolution of its disabled characters and the positive representation that comes with that. So if you want to hear that full discussion in the GamePad Report, become a Studio 77 member to get the extended report plus exclusive access to events and mayamada artwork. So before we get into our announcements for the month, let's get started with this month's industry pro tip. Each month, we like to highlight advice from a creative professional that has come from a GamePad interview or panel or our Story X Story podcast. So for this month, the tip comes from Yasin Ali, who is the Chief Marketing Officer at Orthors, an indie video game developer group that we talked to on episode 105 of the podcast. So as we do, we ask for some advice. We ask for tips for young people and aspiring professionals. So one of the things that came out, the power of networking. So Yasin talked about networking and what it is and its impact and how it's helped them. So he said, networking can easily just be going to an event and introducing yourself. It's not a CV thing and you get interviewed. Networking can be very casual and it can definitely go a long way to helping you move further. So I say timely because we've got a networking event coming up, so we're going to talk about that. So Tazziii, what do you think about that piece of advice?
I think it's a great piece of advice. I will say I'm very good at the very casual networking side of things. I think that's something I'm good at. I mean, feel free to...
Yeah, I've seen it. I'll agree with that.
Yeah, I can strike up a conversation and just say hi to someone. It's a very important skill and it will really help you. And like it not being about, here's my CV, I need to get an interview, I need to get a job. I think one of the things like about networking and it being very casual is that you don't have an end goal to networking. Sometimes you do. You're specifically looking for a group of people for a specific project. But a lot of the time, like networking is just about introducing yourself to people and learning. And it's a transferable skill. Networking is something we do, like as humans.
Yeah.
We're constantly networking. That's what being a human is, creating communities.
There you go. So stay tuned for a bit more on networking, but if that advice resonated with you, definitely check out the full episode and subscribe to the podcast for more discussions with amazing creative professionals.
So as ever, we have lots to come in the GamePad community and Studio 77 members. So, I mean, if you've not heard, we've been running a campaign called Do I Look Like a Gamer? Not sure if we've mentioned it before. But
a few times, maybe.
Yeah. And we're well in the thick of it now. And it's a campaign promoting diversity and inclusion in the video games industry. If you follow us on social media, you'll be able to see the photo campaign and meet the 40 people showcasing diversity in video games. We have our cupcake and GamePad social event coming up. It's a networking event and we want to help you improve your networking skills as it is a key skill in any professional, especially a video games profession. And we're providing an opportunity to meet other aspiring professionals and those working in the industry already. over some desserts and friendly competition. It's going to be at the Samson KX building in King's Cross, Saturday the 2nd of July, 4 p.m. onwards. And again, it is a free event with it is a free event thanks to our campaign sponsors, Rocksteady Studios and Splash Damage.
And speaking of cakes, we have a very special announcement for this month. We have Tazzii's birthday, which is coming up as we record in a number of days, which equals 12. So I just had to do the maths on that. But it is, it is Tazzii's birthday this month. So if you didn't know, now you know. So the rest is up to you. But we're going to be coming back to this topic in 12 days. So looking a bit further ahead, we have Hyper Japan. So make sure you get tickets for our event, for our campaign event. But we are also bringing the campaign to another convention, and you can get your tickets for Hyper Japan, where we, that's Tazziii and I, will be doing a roundtable discussion at Hyper Japan on the Friday. So that is the 22nd of July. Are you looking forward to that, Tazziii?
I am. I'm looking forward to having that conversation again. Or not again, because it's
to continue
that conversation. Because I think it was a really great conversation, the one that we had at MTM, and I'm just excited to continue the conversation at Hyper Japan, and then hopefully at some more events in the future as well. Because I think it's such an important conversation to have, and it's even nicer to have that with you all in person. I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited.
Cool. Alright, so you can look out for that. And at the end of this month, we have our next games night. So on Wednesday, the 29th of June, we will be playing Fall Guys with Studio 77 members, and you can watch live on Twitch. Another game I've not yet played because I missed the hype when it first came out. So this is another come and watch Nigel learn to play a video game. That was always fun. So there you go. And you can become a Studio 77 member today to support the work that we do at mayamada. You can get involved with games nights, plus interviews and panels, which we'll be bringing back in the autumn, and other events, as well as exclusive access to manga and artwork in the mayamada universe. And we've got some new projects there coming, so definitely a good time to get involved.
And we like to ask you a question each month in the form of the GamePad community poll. And we have the results from last month's poll. And so we were asking you, what is your preferred way to pay for video games? And from the results, I feel like Nigel's the only one that voted.
Yeah, that's good. I wasn't, but it was still unanimous.
The options were a free-to-play model supported by advertising or microtransactions, which came up with a 0%. A monthly subscription model for access to all games, which also was 0%. And a single payment model to own the game was 100%. Yeah, I mean, there were more votes than Nigel's. I know, I didn't actually vote on this because Nigel didn't give a sitting on the fence option.
That's not how democracy works, Tazziii. You have to pick one.
We talked a bit about it on the last GamePad report, but I guess, I mean, that's your choice, isn't it?
Yeah, it was.
We all know Nigel.
Yeah, so it makes sense to me, but I also acknowledge that it might not be the way going forward, so I'll take that victory for now.
Yeah, I really do hope we just have a blend. Anyway, let's move on to this month's poll. And this month we are asking, should developers stop making cross-generation video games? And we're almost 2 years into the PS5 and Xbox Series console generation, Do developers need to continue making cross-generation games or focus on making games exclusive for current gen and future gen hardware? Now, me and Nigel had a little discussion about this before, but basically your options are stick to cross-generation, previous gen players should be forgotten, current generation only, it's time to move on to the future, and give it another year, another 12 months, then switch to current gen only. So the voting is now live and will be announced in July's GamePad Report video. Do you know what, when I was reading the question, I was like, cross-gen as in cross-play cross-gen?
Oh, right, I see.
And I was like, no, wait, that's not what is meant here. So, to clarify before you go and vote, as in games being made for both the previous gen and the current gen. Where do you stand on this one?
Yeah, so, I mean, we had a discussion in the extended report video, and I feel... Maybe this is why I feel like I added a bit of a sitting on the fence answer. Maybe because I was projecting a little bit. So, because I can see the reasons why you would want to continue making games for people who have previous generation consoles. But I do feel that at some point there has to be a place where we move on. So I can see like for the next year, there being more, and there are, because I saw the last PlayStation State of Play showcase, so there are more games coming out that are also available on PS4, but then I feel by 2023 you want to really start seeing like what can this current gen do with new engines, with new tools as well. So let's go to the future, but maybe we can wait just a little bit, not too long now.
Yeah, I definitely don't think stick to cross-generation, because progression shall be made in video games.
Yeah,
also,
declare it.
Also, I'm an Xbox player, mainly.
Alright, so you don't care.
And we have this handy-dandy little thing called backwards compatibility.
Yes.
So I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Like,
should have added that option. Yeah.
Let's move forward, because I can still put discs from previous generations into my Xbox Series X and enjoy them. And as someone that has a massive backlog of games, I massively appreciate that.
Yeah, so that does it for this month. And full transparency, I got my PS5 the old-fashioned way, in the boot of a car in a service station in the middle of nowhere. So you can join our GamePad Discord, and make sure you follow us on Twitch to be part of the growing GamePad community. So we're working to inform and demystify the industry and culture through our events and discussions as we work to make it more inclusive. So subscribe to us here on YouTube as well, so you don't miss another GamePad Report video. And whenever we get back to doing them, you can join our live GamePad Report video recordings on Twitch. We promise at some point we'll get back to doing those. And as always, if you haven't already, subscribe to the Story X Story podcast, where Tazziii and I have creator interviews. We get a lot of our tips from there. We have video game discussions, pretty sure you like video games, and deep dives into stories across pop culture. So that is all from us, and we will see you again next month. Hey there, I'm Nigel from mayamada. Thanks for watching our video. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the other great videos we have on the channel. You can also join the GamePad Discord and check out the next event at gamepad.events. We'll see you soon.